All right, so good topic today. I come from a small kind of ad world, and I've now work in a big ad agency, and I love the topic of why small can bat more powerful than big in today's world. So we're going to take you through a little bit of a journey. We have 40 minutes, 36 minutes left. We'll try and whiz through some content and then kind of open up more for like a Q&A casual conversation. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with big. Let's kind of address that. Amazon's big. Amazon was talked about a little bit earlier today, and Amazon's done a small thing in a big way for a long time. Amazon still does the same thing they promised they would do 18 years ago when they started. They've stuck to that knitting when they were a small company. They've obviously taken that to the next level. The internet's big, and people love big. So I don't think it's that we don't like big. I just think things have changed, and now there's an opportunity to kind of work from a small point of view. Double click? Oh. So we said that. So a key thing, we went through some interesting trends with Nick earlier today. Obviously the internet has changed the world from lots of angles. Some would say the internet is the villain in a lot of this change. If you work in CPG, retail, you've been Amazoned or you've been exposed for, having bad ingredients in your products because that's the way the internet works. The internet's the villain in politics right now. So the internet is a tool that's really changed everything that exists out there. And it's an important thing if you think about being a small brand, what you can do with that. Nick went through a bunch of new tools. When there's a new piece of technology or something new out there, there's a vacuum that's created. So, if there's a vacuum created and you're creating a brand and you're in beverage or food or whatever it might be, what can you do with that vacuum to take advantage of those new technologies? Driverless cars are pretty interesting. So, at some stage you're allowed to drink and drive. If you can drink and drive, what kind of brand might you have? If you're kind of a beverage and you're trying to target, kind of driving driverless cars. And then this is a big one, the aggregation theory. Lioko Wine is an aggregator. It aggregates wine. It doesn't own the wine. It doesn't own the winery, but it aggregates grapes to make wine. Airbnb aggregates hotel rooms. Expedia aggregates travel. With this new technology, aggregation is the new form of distribution. In the old days, you guys would know this. You'd go and you'd do your little sales pitch to a retail chain. You'd get some shelf space at the end of the thing, and they would control what distribution you did now. That's all changed. The distribution is in the hand of the aggregators. So it's a really important mix as we kind of think about how you can be small and big at the same time. The new aggregators, they're all about the consumer. They focus on what consumers want versus what you need to sell. So, they're not selling anything, they're providing what people want. Uber's a good aggregator. And the interesting thing with Uber is they started small and got big, and then they lost the hearts and minds of consumers as they got small to big. That's an important, they kind of started off with a great mission, great vision, which we heard earlier from the Honest Company, and it's really important that you don't sell out to whether it's the money or whatever the opportunities are in front of you. You keep that integrity as you start going from small to stay small. But even small makes big mistakes. A good example right now is what's the music festival? Burning Man. Burning Man, right? Burning Man kind of empathise. It was the epitome of small. All things small was Burning Man. But Burning Man's let in big, and it's become exclusive all of a sudden, and it's pivoted from all it was that was great with small, and it started paying the price of being big and exclusive. And Burning Man is losing its luster as a place kind of people who want to connect with small and be intimate. They don't want to do that anymore. Really small can work. Who's heard of PewDiePie? Does anyone know who PewDiePie is? All right, 3 people. Oh, really? Okay, so PewDiePie is a 22-year-old guy from Scandinavia somewhere, and as an individual, he's made $124 million since 2010 on the internet, videoing himself playing video games, right? So that's as small as you can get, right? And he is very successful. He's very he's steadfast in who he is, what he stands for, his mission, his vision. And, you know, so you can be small, you can be medium, or you can be big. I think it's more of a mindset you need to be conscious of nowadays. And the last thing is the whole world is small. I work for a big advertising data company. We know 2,500 different data points about every single one of you. So that makes you an individual and it makes you addressable. So again, you know, small brands have the ability to communicate with the whole world in a very small, intimate way. It's really about the power of the consumer. So it's not small or it's not big, it's all about the consumer. That's really what's changed. In today's world, you know, David can beat Goliath by really focusing on the consumer and making it all about the consumer. So these guys and girls here are going to take you through kind of a different kind of marketing journey where they talk about how brands can act big by doing something, so they can act small and do something big at the same time.